Hello, welcome to the Snastcast. Haven't seen you in a while. How you guys doing out there?
Doing pretty shit.
So
How you doing out there, like a CB radio operator?
So we haven't uploaded in a while because
bear in the air.
essentially it's just because we're lazy.
Yeah.
And we really don't
busy.
care. We don't care about you. So we do this when we feel like it, and you should feel grateful that we do it.
We never think about you guys ever.
I
So
feel so
kidding.
entitled right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to go abuse some poor people.
Wow.
should we introduce ourselves?
Yeah, everybody introduce yourselves. I'm John.
Hello.
You know me,
I am Luke. You don't know me.
and you never will.
Ever.
I'm Grant. You should know me.
I'm Abdul. This is my third time here.
I'm Jake, music boy extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a... It's not the standard lineup, but it's what we could make do with. And
Scraps.
yeah, everybody was just kind of, you know,
I think they
thinking
call
we
that-
should do a podcast sometime, so we decided let's sit down and do it. Finally. After how long? I think the last episode we uploaded was
At least a year, right?
at least a
At
year
least
ago.
a year.
So it's
The
been
thing
a
is-
hot minute.
Mm.
I get notifications on like Facebook.
Yeah, the
about,
Facebook
like, the
page.
Like, oh, you haven't like clicked your page for a while. It's like it's the ancient relic.
Well,
Try to
every
push to
once
the
in a
back of my
while,
mind.
what freaks me out is every once in a while there'll be one that we gotta view. And
Yeah.
I'm like, who is finding this right now? Like, who is
It's the
viewing
Facebook algorithm.
I still
Mark
get that
Zuckerberg pushing it.
with like old band pages that I
Yeah.
have that I have had no content on. Like it was just a picture we found on the internet and that's it. There was
Yeah.
no music, nothing. And I'm like, why are you checking this page out? How is it not deleted? Do they ever delete
Yeah.
stuff on Facebook?
No, they don't delete the pages. They just go inactive. That's
Yeah.
literally what
Is there
they
like
do.
an RSS feed for Facebook pages, or it's just like you can see random ass?
I've never heard of that.
Because I have one
Roll the
called
dice.
Sophony Flotano. That's just inactive.
I remember I had a fake Facebook account I made. We had like a project we were doing like in some English class, and I had to make like a social media account for like a character in like some play or some shit. And I think I made like I like made like a Facebook page for Oedipus or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like relationship status. I had to make like Facebook pages for like a lot of the other characters, so I could have like them interacting and commenting on his posts
What is
and
this
shit.
for? What class
See,
is this
I don't
for?
remember what this is for. I just remember doing that as part of an assignment. There's probably multiple options for the assignment.
Then what if you just change those names to rural Alabama names and then ask people if like
There you go.
if
yeah.
it seemed out of place?
I had to make up like a Monopoly, like a board game for like an Egyptian part of a class once. That's the dumbest
No,
thing.
like this semester for a communications class that I have to take. I had to follow my professor on Twitter, by the way. I followed my professor on Twitter, and then 10 other people related to like media and stuff like that. And like whenever we do a project, I have to tweet my project at my professor. Like I'm gonna do my project on this. I'm like, stop forcing me to use
Yeah.
social media. I hate it.
Does your professor follow you in return, or just?
No. I have to follow-
Come on, follow the
Because
follow
they
that
have
thing.
to follow you, and then you just have the most rancid, awful shit on your Twitter feed.
No, like it's the Twitter I made when I was like 15, and I used that. Yeah, no. So I used that Twitter to, like, you know, Star City Games, right?
Oh, the Magic the Gathering.
Start.
Yeah,
Right.
Star City Games. Those guys, like, I made that Twitter so I couldn't. They had Twitter giveaways essentially.
Yeah.
I literally only made my Twitter account to get in giveaways. That's it.
Yeah.
Like YouTubers do giveaways, right? They say you gotta follow me on Twitter, you gotta subscribe to my YouTube channel, you gotta do this and that, right? I made my Twitter just because of that. I don't use it.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I have Twitter, just
Yeah.
to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't post...
I don't post anything on Twitter either. I don't
I'm
use
just
it.
trying to think of the amount of email accounts I've made just to sign up for shit.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
so many. My go-to was I would do. Oh my god, one of the first email accounts I ever made. It was. I'm not gonna say the website, but it was Dual Katana 69. I was like 12 or something. I still fucking use it.
It's a
to
badass
sign into
username.
shit. What?
Dual katana.
Dual katana.
Dual Katana
Yeah,
69.
you know,
It's like dual wielding.
It was
katana.
some serious
First-
edgelord shit.
First email I ever made, I won't say the website,
Yeah.
was Zap Rapper.
Zap Rapper. That's
Yep,
good. I like
Zap
that.
Rapper. So, someone who raps very quickly. That's literally what I made that
That's
for.
cool.
And at that time, I didn't listen to any rap music. I didn't even listen to music. I just thought, hey, this sounds cool. I'm gonna use that one, and I'm still using it to this day.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So going back to teachers.
Whoa,
like-
whoa! Hey, the new guy does not start conversations. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh,
You can't.
Wow, really?
All right, I'll give him permission.
All right.
I'm giving him permission.
Are we experiencing
He
this?
passed you
here?
the talking stick. It's yours now.
So I was given an assignment in one of my classes in high school, and I remember two actually. No, this is the main one. My teacher told us, first day of class, your first assignment is to stalk one of your fellow students and write shit down about them.
What the
Wait,
hell?
you like follow them home
No, like just
and like sit outside their bedroom door and
no,
listen?
thank God.
like
it was more
sleep with them.
Yeah, basically. No, it was more so just you follow them, like not necessarily follow them around school, but if you see them around school, just write shit down about them. Like, what do they do when they're sitting there? Do they have any like weird like, or do they flick their eye when they're just thinking into space?
This is a project.
This is the first project, so we had to write down every like little quirk. So like, let's say I'm following you, John, and you're.
Right.
I noticed that like every time you answer a question, you like.
My dearly
Rub your
beloved John touches his ear.
You like touches your ear 3 times and then you raise your hand.
So you're
just
like
supposed to write-
analyzing quirks.
Yes, but not just little thing. I think it was a sociology class or no, psychology class. That's what it was.
That would make me so anxious.
Yeah. What
oh
the
my
fuck?
god.
That's
It was-
so weird.
It was, and the girl, shockingly, that I followed, she was pretty cute. She was a couple years older than me, so I was pretty intimidated. But yeah, that was such a weird fucking assignment. Oh my god. And I remember, it's just the teacher reading all this makes it weirder that they're like reading about these kids going to.
Yeah.
What was that movie where the teacher? It was a TV show that the teacher, like the only class that they did, it was like this weird dystopian utopian society where the only class they took was surveillance, and they all stalked each other.
Sounds like an anime.
It was.
Surveillance.
I think it actually had a.
I don't think I've ever seen that in anime.
Like a spy class.
Investigations.
Well, there is an anime about an alien that comes to Earth and is going to kill everyone on Earth unless they can kill him, and he gives them a chance to kill him, but they can't.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's called
Wait, is that?
It's One Punch
Assassination Classroom.
Oh,
That's what it's called. Speaking of One Punch Man, season 2 got announced.
Man? I did. Yeah,
Of
that
One
was
Punch
great.
Man, and
Really?
the animation looks like shit from the trailer. It does. The same studio that made the first season's not making the season, and the trailer.
yeah,
So it looks bad.
What studio made the first season?
I don't remember. I think it was Madhouse.
One Punch Man
That was
It was either Madhouse or Trigger. I don't remember.
that was literally the best part about that show. Was
Yep,
the
the animation. And unfortunately, from the trailer, from what I saw in the trailer, it not good. Like,
Fuck.
So, it's
it looks like your yearly anime, thing that they throw out. So it doesn't look very good.
garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed.
I just wonder when I don't think traditional animation ever died, but what's that like pseudo like that 3D animation? Like remember Harlock Space Pirate? Like what do you call that kind of animation?
I hate that. I know
Where
what
it's
you
like
mean.
photorealistic 3D.
Oh, there is a word
That it's
for
really
it.
weird looking, and there's a million shows like that now. Or
I mean, are you talking about the computer generated animes?
maybe like
It's
CGI
like-
anime.
Yeah,
Like, where it's
those
not
shit-
like hand cells.
Yeah,
The
CGI
spaceship
animes.
in Futurama is a good example. The one they fly
yeah.
around in, I think.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
when
no,
they
I
have
know
the
what you're-
shots of it moving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know what
that's-
you're talking about. Yes, I think that's just computer generated because
Yeah.
when
I didn't know
there's
that
there's computer generated anime on Netflix. I think it's called Ajin, and
There's a lot of computer.
and
that's
then
not-
Berserk.
on Netflix,
you guys
isn't it?
have heard of Berserk?
Mhm.
Berserk, what they did computer generated, and people were pissed about it.
Yeah,
Because
it's
it
fucking
doesn't
Berserk,
look very
dude.
good.
It's a
It does not
flagship
look very
franchise.
good. I don't like computer generated graphics. They just
Because they use it and it's becoming so prevalent now. It's just a lot cheaper.
Because
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
make the 3D model and then
just move it.
Yeah.
And then there's the in between where did you guys see? I never watched this, but there was like a Batman, like anime thing that was coming out. It's like an anime film where it's like Batman, but it's in feudal Japan, something like that.
Oh,
And there's like a
Batman in
Joker,
feudal
and the way it was animated was like a cross between like cell animation and that CG shit. It looked really weird. I think it was called Samurai Batman. Maybe.
yeah.
But, like,
I don't trust those.
No, it's Ninja Batman. That's what it was.
I don't trust those like animated superhero movies, because So
Didn't you see The Killing Joke?
yeah, I saw The Killing Joke.
Was that not good?
I was so disappointed by it.
Oh yeah.
Because The Killing Joke, the comic book, is so visually interesting and
Did Alan
just
Moore
cool
do
to
The Killing
read and
Joke?
look at. But the animation of the movie is just like standard superhero like color
Boring
scheme,
bullshit.
and it's like the same studio that makes all the other ones made it. And it's like the same reason they use that CG animation is that it's cheaper.
Yeah.
But it looks a lot blander than if you like
Hand
took
drawn.
more care to it. But
Yeah.
that would cost money.
No, the thing is when people have CG animes nowadays, if a CG anime comes out, automatically it loses points in the anime community's views because it's so hard to make a CG anime look decent. Ajin, from what I've heard, was a pretty good anime, but just people, I'm hesitant to watch it just because of the way it looks. I hate the way it looks so much. And Berserk was the same thing. I watched the first season of Berserk, right? And because I'd already read the manga for it, and you know the manga for Berserk is crazy. Like it's the drawing or like in the manga is amazing. Like the way that it's like drawn. But if you look at the animation, it's like already nah. I already read the manga. Nah, no thank you. Yeah.
It's like with animes pander or like these superhero animes, they're trying to suck in either the anime people into the superhero world or the superhero people into the anime world. It's like I feel like it's a weird crossover to develop more sales. Yeah, or you know, you get what I'm trying to say? Like superhero, like a ninja Batman.
I think that they're literally just doing that to like drawing new people.
Yeah,
Or it
essentially.
might be fan service.
Yeah, it's fan service. It's essentially fan service. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Because, oh god, this reminds me. There's this YouTube video of the voice actor from Jojo, right? The voice actor from Jojo that plays Dio. And it's literally just videos of his, because his voice is super iconic. It's videos of him in other animes, in other cartoons too.
Like the Yu-Gi-Oh
yeah.
episode.
So he was in a Yu-Gi-Oh episode. Hey Ryan.
Oh
Hello.
boy,
Yeah.
we got another member here.
Yeah.
Latecomer.
Yeah.
Tell the listeners about yourself, Ryan.
I'm Ryan. I'm a Type 2 wilderness firefighter, a history major, and I got something to say.
Tell me about your problems, young man.
What up, Dre?
Well,
I got something to say.
First off, I was up late last night, so I'm tired. It was pretty cool. I was looking at that supermoon that happened last night.
There was a supermoon
There was a
last night?
super what?
Yep. So that means the moon is at its closest to Earth in its cycle.
Is that why it looked big?
Yeah, big and bright. So
Yeah.
I went out to Palisade Head on Lake Superior, right out of Silver Bay. So I was standing up on a couple 100-foot high cliff overlooking Lake Superior with the big moon. It's pretty rad.
Is it just me, or
Can't you
has
just
a
look
few
at him,
months
though?
more up north has made his accent
That's
thicker?
what I was just about to say.
No, no.
But he has always done this. You have like
Goes on his pilgrimage, comes back.
not even a pilgrimage. Like I remember him, he would exaggerate the accent hard. Just I don't know why, but it was like, oh hi.
Oh, hi there. How you doing?
I do that to people who point it out to me. Like they'll say
Yeah.
I'm speaking with like a Minnesotan accent, or I'm like stretching my O's out, and then I just exaggerate it to shit.
Yeah.
That's how I spoke
can't-
when I was in New York. I was like, oh,
I
yeah.
can't even tell if there is a Minnesota accent. Can you tell? Like, I can't tell.
You don't.
Yeah, I don't have it?
Everybody has an accent.
Yeah, I haven't, like, when I talk to my mom, everyone says I talk differently.
Yes.
So,
Oh yeah, because you deliberately put on an accent when you talk to your mom.
it's
Abdul-
subconscious.
Abdul,
Like,
pretend like you're talking to your mom right now. How does that sound?
I can't really just pull it out. Like, and it only really comes out now, like, when I get into an argument with my mom.
Okay, what if I pretend to be your mom?
I don't
Could
think
you do it?
I don't think I can do it. I can't do it off the top of my head. It's hard.
I mean, we'll get a lot of internet points for that, Abdul.
Dude,
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
at
just 'cause-
least 50 internet points.
So, I don't know.
You just gotta say to him, Abdul, you're a failure in life, and
Please don't say that.
When someone asks you to do an accent, like
bless you.
someone asked me to do an Irish accent, I could not do it.
Yeah.
I
Irish potato famine.
yeah, you do.
That's
like,
all I know how to
that's all you
say.
I don't know why it was, or like a Scottish accent or an Australian accent. It's
Scottish accent's just a bunch of short syllables strung together to make, and really angrily.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Angrily.
Scottish people have two tongues. At least two tongues. Because the syllables they use. It's my fucking food, dude.
Well, you don't just leave the Taco Bell bag in the corner undefended.
Ryan, how would you like it if I walked into your house and started looking through all your Taco Bell bags, huh?
Well, I tell you, man, I'm hungry. I'm on the prowl, so don't leave your food undefended.
Late stage calories.
I've only had one dinner today.
One dinner?
Only one dinner.
That
I
Taco Bell,
haven't even
though,
had dinner.
that Taco Bell has already had 3 of its half-lives in this stretch.
Oh yeah, Taco Bell gets a lot worse when it gets to room temperature. Taco Bell is.
Hey
it's
man,
fine.
I'm trying to toss some oil in a cast iron pan and fry that burrito.
Just warm it up.
Yeah.
Get out.
It's like an epic mealtime episode or something, like frying individual Taco Bell.
Deep
tacos.
Sad mealtime. Yeah,
So,
I think it's.
What
it's
did I come
dying.
in here and interrupt?
I think I was
podcast.
talking about anime.
Well, yeah,
I don't remember where I was. Oh,
it's
CG.
all
Okay, let me
shit.
just summarize. Computer generated anime is bad. Don't watch it.
Yep.
All right, so
Yeah, and to it.
Well, no, I would disagree. Have you seen Ajin?
I literally
We
was
were
just
just
mentioning
talking-
that,
yeah.
right? I read the manga for Ajin. The manga is good. I looked at the animation and I dropped it after like 2 episodes. I just couldn't take the animation.
And
hard
what
to
is
watch.
that?
It
That's
is.
one example of it working right.
No, man.
No,
Ajin's a
Ajin-
fantastic anime.
Ajin was carried on its source material. It's the
Yes.
same thing with Berserk, right?
Yes.
The only reason that like people liked it is because the source material is good. Animation, not so much.
Okay.
Yeah,
What we were
so-
talking about the aesthetics of that kind of animation.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's something.
I mean, the writing of the show could be good, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes everyone look like a weird Sims character.
Do you
I
think
don't
they
like
did
it.
that just because they knew they could get away with it? And they
I-
knew that some people would
honestly,
watch it?
it's possible.
I just
It's
don't know what the
probably
target
cheaper.
audience
Yeah,
is.
no, it is
for,
cheaper.
like-
It's definitely
yeah.
cheaper. We were
Well,
talking
and
about
Netflix
motivation.
is trying to pump out anime. They can't do cast. Oh no.
Well, don't they
can't do
do
a
some
Castlevania.
animation with computers now?
no feet on the table, Ryan. Because the microphone's on it, it'll pick up the little bumps and stuff.
No, but don't they do cell animation by computers now?
Well, they still. I'm pretty sure they still hand draw it, and then maybe they put it into a computer afterwards. I don't know the exact process of cell shading animation. Like, I'm not someone.
First, you get a bunch of Korean slaves to go in your sweatshop, and then you just go from there.
No,
I'm
they're
not even joking.
They're
like,
not
that's what
Korean
they do.
slaves. They're Japanese slaves. You know how much animators make? Bupkis. That's what they make. Like, literally,
They
they
make
get,
two.
yeah, they get paid terribly. They get overworked, and because of it, animation quality has suffered significantly over the
It's
past
just
few
fucked
years.
up. Did you ever watch that?
They're on tight schedules. They have to make imagine you had to make a 12-episode series in like 6 months. Completely animate a 12-episode series. In
They
6
had like
months.
behind the
That's
scenes
not
when,
enough time.
It's not enough
when
time. It's just not.
Miyazaki, when he and his crew were making Spirited Away, and like they would fucking like work themselves half to death. It's insane
Yeah,
how much just fucking work you have to do for that kind of shit.
The thing
and make
is,
it look good.
Yeah, the
like,
thing is when they're making a movie like that, they have much more time.
Mhm.
And what's an average runtime of a Studio Ghibli movie? Hour and a half, 2 hours?
2 hours.
Wait, is
Yeah.
that why
2
anime
hours
is
probably
the
the
way it
longest.
is, where a lot of scenes are just people sitting there talking 'cause it's easy to animate? You just
Yes,
have
that's
the-
something I've noticed too.
Is that it?
They do
Like-
that on purpose. That's because if you read the manga for some animes, some scenes might be a lot more fluid and dynamic,
Yeah.
but they'll cut those scenes or they'll do flashbacks right in the anime to previous parts of the episode, and they'll extend them a little bit longer than what's normal, and the anime suffers because of it. But it's cheaper and it's faster.
Yeah, you have however many cells a second. Like, yeah, you got precious time in there. You know?
Yeah.
That is one of the main reasons why I don't like anime, is because I, as a movie person, love the movement of a character. I think like Jack Nicholson's a good example. The way he moves in a scene is really, he conveys a lot.
It's body language.
Yeah, body language. Some 2 animes that did that really well recently, that blew into the mainstream, were One Punch Man and Attack on
So
Titan.
what you're saying is that your favorite anime is Polar Express, since it was mocapped.
I actually really like that.
Motion capture, yeah, it
But
was
Beowulf,
yeah.
yeah.
Luke, anime does have that though. It's expressed in a different way. So instead of body language, the movement of the body expressing something, it's the actual design of the character that's expressing something. So if this character has like sharp angles, like sharp shoulders and stuff, and sharp features, that's probably a villain.
Well,
if it has softer features, it's probably
Anime is
the
can have more
protagonist.
interesting editing too.
Yeah, the editing can be nice. I'll give it that. But when you have a character who's just 2 characters standing there monologuing, it just feels like a slog. Or Schlog.
Right.
Schlog. I don't know.
No,
Dragon Ball
that's-
Z had that problem really bad.
You know, that is a weakness. I recognize that as a weakness that's prevalent in a lot of animes. But, you know, the reason I think that Attack on Titan and One Punch Man broke into the mainstream is because those monologue sessions are far in between. Like, there's very few of them. And the animation during actual, like, parts that matter is fantastic. It's so fluid and dynamic. And it's, especially, like, I remember when I saw Attack on Titan, like just the way everything is stylized in that anime is fantastic. Everything looks like it's so like it's real, but at the same time fake. You know, because it's the animation, but like you feel like the severity of it when you look at it.
Yeah, just watching him like just swoop in, like and
flying
fly
through the air,
streets
right?
and stuff. It's
It's amazing to see.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen the Dragon Ball Z Abridged by Team 4 Star?
Yep, I've seen Abridged.
I prefer watching Dragon Ball that way.
You like the Abridged more?
Because it moves so much faster,
You're right.
but it still keeps all the best parts of it. And then I actually like the dialogue better in the abridged version.
You like the meme dialogue?
Yeah, I think it's a lot more entertaining.
I mean,
than just watching the original.
That's why
straight.
JoJo is so good, because the dialogue, like the scenes where they're just talking or like enunciating during a battle, are hilarious.
Yeah, the monologue is so over the top in JoJo.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
freaking
it's
ridiculous. I hate it. It's something I don't like, but at the same
What?
time, it's something I don't like, but I love it at the same time because it's so over the top. Like literally, we were just watching before we came here.
Yeah.
Here's like this old British guy in a hat with long blonde hair, perfectly describing the scene that you just saw in vivid detail. It's amazing to watch. It's like, wow, I can't believe they did that. I can't believe that's what they decided to do.
Now, for me, that's a negative for me when they have dialogue that just recaps something that already happened, or it's saying something that the viewer already knows.
Yeah, no.
It's like I don't get that, man.
No, it's kind of
it
like
just feels like padding.
it's a joke in the JoJo community that happens. It's just a big joke. It's like everyone's like, this is too much. Like we understand, like anime sometimes has those recap monologues, but they're usually super short, like literally like a few seconds, or like a character in the bleachers watching a fight will just say something like off the top, and it's usually just a sentence or two. But in JoJo, it's like a paragraph. And, like they don't do them like in every fight over like a lot of times, but when they do them, you notice because it's like this guy's been talking for like 5 or 6 seconds now. It's a bit much.
So is JoJo kind of like almost a parody of other anime?
It's a parody
It's so stylized that it feels like a parody.
You know,
Okay.
Yep. That's I would agree with that.
I wonder how the actual creators and writers of the show approach it. Do they approach it as something that's very self-aware and like, let's do crazy?
I haven't read
stuff?
the manga. I feel like the manga would be a better way to
Manga
describe
doesn't have
that,
like
'cause I don't
manga
know
doesn't
much
have that.
it's
I remember
Iraqi,
when I
right?
was reading the manga, it didn't have that kind of monologuing. It really didn't have it that much. But it's been a while since I read it. I might have forgot. I'm not sure. But,
I mean, again, you still have the stylized though. You still have those flashy characters in existence.
No, it's still super stylized, but I think the animation for JoJo is what pushed it on to the top. Especially the colors. The colors are fantastic. I love the colors in JoJo. It's when a scene change happens and all the colors get inverted.
Yeah, those
you're like,
swap
what
them.
the fuck just
Fucking
happened? It's
sweet.
crazy.
But I just wonder if the people creating it take it seriously, or do they treat it as just like a fun thing to work on?
I think they take the animation seriously.
Yeah, I think they have to take it
Yeah,
seriously.
the animation's taken seriously. The monologues, they kind of meme with. I think they meme with the monologues.
I mean, well, I guess I'm mainly talking about the writing of it.
Consider this. So, your band, Napleson, is working on an album named Bongoloid about a massive upper primate
Just spoil it all, why don't you?
that
Jeez.
smokes weed and essentially terrorizes people. Isn't he like pirate? Anyway, do you take that seriously? The creation of this album.
The creation of it, yes.
Yes,
is
but the
a
concept.
joke.
That's not what I'm asking.
Well, no, but I think it's a similar thing where the
I think they're
album
kinda
is
tangential.
it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But you're taking it. This is deadly serious art you guys are making. I think the same thing you see a lot of the same stuff in anime, where it's sort of like I don't know. It's a goofy premise, but they do it.
But
damn
honestly,
well.
like some of that over the top stuff in JoJo, it's like sometimes you'll be laughing at, it, and sometimes you're like that's so fucking awesome. Yeah.
Like, you kind of, I feel like
Get your blood
sometimes they
pumping,
do
yeah.
just like try to make it look, let's just make this the best, like most epic thing ever.
Well, okay.
And then they do it, but then it's so grandiose to the point that it's funny.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm saying. So you watch a comedy and a drama differently. You have a different perspective going into each one, right? I'm confused what perspective to go in with Jojo, because I don't know if I'm supposed to approach it as like, this is hilarious because it's so ridiculous, or should I approach it like, I want to get invested in this character?
Both. I mean,
It's
really
both, because the
There are
premise
episodes of
behind the premise behind JoJo in itself is ridiculous. They have ghosts that come out of their bodies that psychically fight each other, and they all have weird powers. I mean, like,
make any sense.
yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Okay.
Like, it's so like it's different than when like you do like something with martial arts, or you do something with like a drama or something like that. It's different when you pull fantasy elements into shows like that. You kind of have to leave like your brain at the door a little bit. Like,
Okay.
So don't expect everything to follow in a certain way.
But-
there's some things that happen in JoJo that even me remembering back on them, I'm like, that's some old bullshit. That made no goddamn sense. But whatever, I guess. Whatever. It was cool to watch. I liked it.
There's a mark of JoJo where part of the fun of it is that it can really switch from drama to comedy, like on the fly and then back again. There are episodes that are like straight comedy. I think of in part 4 when they're like they go to this like fancy restaurant and this guy's cooking is just out of this world, but they keep suspecting he's a Stan user, and it gets like slowly more menacing, and then he's like the most innocent, nice guy ever.
Yeah.
There's the Oingo
does it?
Boingo stuff.
Oh yeah. Oingo boingo.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it's
no,
especially
boy.
like, how can you not have comedy in it when as a Western viewer you're like, wow, these guys are all named after fucking bands. He just like blatantly stole all this shit. Like there's like one of the main villains of part 3 is a guy named Vanilla Ice, and then you hear him pronounce in English like Vanilla Ice, and you can't not laugh at it, even though the characters are so
the main
sick.
villain of part 5. His stand is called King Crimson.
And
And there's
Yeah,
a
and
highway
literally,
star.
yeah, and King Crimson is like,
Sex
its
Pistols.
powers, like literally people have been memeing about King Crimson's abilities for the past decade. They don't understand it. No one understands it.
It doesn't make any sense.
any fucking
It
sense.
makes no fucking sense. You're like,
But-
oh, we can do this because of that.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
you see King Crimson, and it's like if you took a man, like it's like if you took the Michelin Man, right, that tire guy, and turned him red, and then compressed him, and then gave him like an evil mask face. That's King Crimson. Imagine that, and then imagine like he has like weird time powers, some vague time powers, and when he fights people, he's so strong. He chops them in half. Like imagine if I karate chopped you in half, John. And it's the most, like when it happens in the anime, there's a scene, he punches a guy through his stomach, right? He donuts him. The Michelin Man just donutted this Italian dude. You're like, what the fuck did I just see? What did I just watch? So like that's what kind of I think that's kind of what made JoJo popular when the anime came out. The cool scenes and how over the top and ridiculous it is combined.
That's why people like One Punch Man.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why people liked One Punch Man too.
God, One Punch Man has the coolest fights I've ever seen.
I don't remember if it's Madhouse or Trigger. I bet someone will correct me when they hear this, but one of those studios, they amped it to 11. Those scenes. I don't think I've seen scenes like that in an anime in forever.
And it's so funny because the whole anime is basically like a parody.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's a big joke. If you read the original manga, the artist, he draws it like shit. It's like it's like uneven lines. Saitama's head looks like a square sometimes. It's,
like on purpose?
Yeah, on purpose.
Yeah.
So when the manga got popular, they got a new artist to draw it, and he made it look like an actual real manga. And I think it kind of lost some of the charm then. Because you didn't get the amazing animation with the manga. So the original manga is still ridiculous to look at. I still actually read the manga, the new manga for One Punch Man, but it's hit or miss sometimes. Sometimes I'm into it, sometimes I'm not. But I think it's one of the strengths of anime. The ones certain anime. There's a lot of anime that's really fucking dog shit. But the strength of some animes and the narrative that they tell in those stories, if it's the premise behind that narrative, if it's just ridiculous enough, and they take it in the right direction, and they don't push you too much, I think something really special can happen. And that's why I like Jojo so much. Mainly, I think that's why I like it so much. Thank you.
I do love this profound.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Just like, what do we even call it? A profound.
I mean, wait till you hear him talk about hentai. That's when the waterworks will start going. Like,
Yeah. Talk about that.
So this thing about like One Punch Man, you mentioned how it's lost its steam. Maybe I can't talk. Mainly because of the animation losing its charm in the second season.
It's just the trailer we've seen.
Okay.
Maybe it'll come out and it'll look fantastic.
Right.
I'm skeptical.
But now you got a company who's made a great product, right? A great movie. And
what movie?
Show. Everyone loved it, and they, from what it sounds like, the animation is really.
One Punch Man movie be garbage.
Not a movie, just the show, whatever. They invested a lot in it, and the returns aren't going to be like a good example is Blade Runner, the new Blade Runner movie.
Oh man, I really liked that movie when we went and saw it.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. I liked it.
It was really bold. It was really good, but it killed itself because it was almost too ambitious.
It's also long. Like, I mean, that's the thing is I've been looking at
that was a long
movies. Like, I'll just go through Netflix and look at a movie to watch, and I see all these movies I've watched, like really really well done movies, and it's like almost always consistently just under 2 hours. And it's like that's the most perfect time. And you watch Blade Runner, it's like what was that? Almost like 3 hours.
Yeah,
almost
3 hours. Yeah.
But then there's movies like Heat. That's over 3 hours.
No, it's 250.
Well, okay.
Schindler's List is over 3 hours.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie.
I
will never watch it because I don't want to get fucking big sad.
It's a really good movie. I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like one of the saddest movies ever, like by far and away. It's supposed to be.
It's a bit on the graphic side, but it's a pretty good one.
I still haven't seen it.
I mean, again, it's over 3 hours. It's like trying to watch the Das Boot director's cut, which is like almost 4 hours.
I would
and it's just dudes in a submarine the whole time.
God, yelling.
I'd recommend drinking while watching Schindler's List. Because it really is, if you can really ply yourself with alcohol, you get big cry by the very end. And
So
that's really what it's
When they're laying all
about.
the stones.
Oh,
I don't know.
dude, you get like serious mad cry, and that's what it's all about.
That was a brilliant way to end that movie.
Yeah.
I know about the ending, and that's.
I feel weird when I get messed up and watch like a really heavy movie like that.
That's why you should never do it.
No, I love it. Like
I feel like
sometimes you don't know when a movie's going to get
what
heavy,
you need to
man.
do is you need to really just listen to your body and drink just enough to really get yourself kind of plied, get the emotions lubricated, so that way when you hit like the crescendos in a movie, it hits you like a tank.
Yep.
That's what it's about.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I avoid sad movies completely.
I love
Because
a good big sad.
Honestly, if I want to feel sad, I can not because I don't want to feel sad. So I just avoid things that'll make me sad. Sometimes they happen. Sometimes I see a heartwarming scene, you know, or I see something that makes me feel some type of way. You know, a few tears come on, and I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Well,
It's best.
You know why people like sad movies, right, Abdul?
Well, it's like
Because they use it as a proxy. Because they, I think a lot of people watch sad movies. Like specifically the people that say sad movies are like their favorite. I think those kind of people, you probably won't see them cry, because they don't want to show that.
They're psychotic and they don't show emotion.
But if they watch a sad movie, then they can allow themselves to cry, because it's like, well, the movie was designed to make me cry, you know.
I didn't think about it that way. I mean,
I know a lot of people that
the only
watch sad movies for that kind of release.
Like, I avoid sad movies, but I have cried watching some sad animes before. I have done that.
It's some animes though.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know how you could get. I mean, I guess at the end of Cowboy Bebop, I felt emotional, but not like I don't want to cry. You know, I don't know. Just something. That's the weird thing about like any form of media is that it shouldn't make you cry.
It has the
'Cause it's not
capacity that
real.
always fix. Oh my god, Toy Story 3, man. I watched Toy Story 3. If I watched it from beginning to end, I will bawl my fucking eyes out. By the time they're going down in that fire pit and they're like accepting their fate, I'm dead. I'm gone. Not receptive.
Did you see that they're making a new Toy Story?
Yeah, I'm pissed because Toy Story 3 was the most perfect ending, and money.
Actually, I haven't seen
money
it.
rules
I have
overall,
not seen
man.
the new Toy Story movie.
Toy Story 4
But
is going to be the name.
But I wouldn't have cried at Toy Story 3 if I hadn't grown up with those movies. If I hadn't watched VHS tapes of Toy Story 2 over again. And then Toy Story 3 comes out, I go see it with my mom and my two younger cousins, and they didn't emotionally react. My mom didn't emotionally react, and I'm sitting there with my fucking head in my hands, crying my fucking eyes out.
You got the same thing
gets
when
me, man.
You got the same thing when we went and saw
Watching the finale of The Office does it to me too.
You get the same thing when we went and saw Star Wars. Granted, we didn't grow. Like, I mean, I'm sure all of us grew up
Which
watching
one?
it.
The very most newest
Force
one?
Awakens.
Oh yeah.
So like when we went into that theater, I mean, there were a lot of little kids with their dads, and I remember when the fucking Millennium Falcon shows up.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, man,
Everyone was so excited. I remember that.
Yeah, and then but there were also scenes where people were like, "Oh yeah," and then you'd like look over and see like a little kid with his dad, and he'd just be like, "That's not
Yeah, all those 30-year-old sweaty dudes who grew up with Star Wars. I know what that is. I've seen that thing before.
Yeah.
I mean, The Force Awakens was like a good start for the new Star Wars thing, but I feel like The Last Jedi dropped the fucking ball.
The last Solo
Jedi
movie.
The Last Jedi dropped
Yeah.
the
Rogue
ball.
One.
I feel
Like-
like it.
Seeing The Force Awakens, I went and saw it at the Minnesota Zoo. They have a huge IMAX screen. I think it's the biggest one in the state, at least.
Mhm.
And so seeing the premiere of that movie was an awesome experience.
Mhm.
And I remember after the movie, like, I was thinking, wow, I had a lot of fun watching that movie, but like I felt like I couldn't. There was something nagging me about it.
When we
I
watched
couldn't
The
put my
Last
finger-
Jedi?
Yeah, or no, when I watched The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens? Oh, okay.
The premiere of The Force Awakens. But it was so exciting because it was the first like
New Star Wars.
Yeah,
film
that
that I
was-
could really digest myself. Like I was old enough to really digest it. Because I remember I saw episode 2 and episode 3 in theaters, but I don't remember really
You were
seeing it.
young,
I was
yeah.
young.
Yeah.
I was a young kid.
People forget about the like. You can watch a movie in one setting and then watch it in another setting, be completely focused on it, but just at both times, but totally different experience. Like I still remember when we went to go see Houseu, and we're in this like small theater with a bunch of other people, and that's one of the craziest movies I've ever seen in my life. Probably one of the craziest movies ever made.
Still
just
need to
period.
see it. I
It's
really wanna
insane,
go.
and we saw it in this like small little local theater.
Yeah, Houseu is literally almost like
And just
YouTube
watching
poop.
and just hearing everyone's reactions to it, all going like, "What the fuck? I can't." Because the second you think you understand that movie, it'll pull a fast one on you, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And talking about watching a movie 2 different times, having different reactions. The second time I watched Force Awakens, which was like a couple months after, I think. After the movie, I was like, wow, I don't think it was as good as I thought it was.
Because the rose-colored glasses.
No,
were off.
that's the thing where I thought the Force Awakens, after I saw it one more time afterwards. I didn't think it was amazing, but I thought, all right, this is a decent starting point. This is a good place to start. What happens next?
Yeah,
and then The Last Jedi comes
Boom,
out,
and
then
and
Rian
everything.
Johnson comes
yep,
in.
and he ruins everything.
It's like people listen. The thing with him is like people do want to be surprised by things. I mean, these movies are incredibly like picked apart down to every tiny minute detail for fans to look for like clues for what's going to be in the next movie or, you know, certain things like this. People like to be surprised.
Yep.
I mean, and what's going to surprise these people other than what they're totally not expecting?
Yep.
And people were expecting
Subverting
everything.
your expectations.
People were expecting everything. So this guy is so committed to subverting expectations that he makes the actual result of subverting that worse than any other option.
Yeah. It's like who are Rey's parents?
Nobody.
Psych. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Who's Snoke? Nobody.
Yeah. What is Luke? What's Luke gonna do? Psych. He's dead. He just dies like a nerd.
like that's the wrong number.
Yeah.
I remember watching the movie The Last Jedi the first time, and when those subversions came up, I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's a lot different than anything I could have thought of. But then I kept thinking about it, and it's like viewing it a second time, a third time, and I think I actually watched it 4 times.
Oh my god, why? It's about degrees of subversion. A good
Yeah.
90 degrees of subversion, that's good. But if you go a full 180, and you go the polar opposite of what people are expecting, and you do that for everything,
But the subversion was only cool the first time.
Yeah.
Because it
too
was
many
a
things.
surprise. Now that you know what's going to happen, it's like that subversion isn't satisfying at all.
Yeah.
Like just having Rey have her parents not being a mystery, like just being nobody.
we don't know.
That's not satisfying.
They'll probably like
maybe they'll
to be
subvert
fair,
expectations
They'll roll
again.
it all back by the
To be
third
fair,
one.
maybe
Honestly.
in episode 9 they'll bring
Yeah.
that back into the picture.
Holy fuck!
But
Episode 9.
just so many things they did where it's like you just tanked a lot of your potential for like lasting impact.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I agree. Two things. I think The Force Awakens suffers from the tragedy of
Darth Plagueis?
yes,
They use the Y.
of what do they call it? Sequelitis, right? Where it suffers from it's just a build-up. And the thing about the Last Jedi, The Last Jedi is a build-up for whatever the next one's called.
You're right, actually.
Oh, it's just
I think you're
cursed
right.
by being in the middle, like,
what was the
But,
one that
I mean, like, you know the prequel movies, right? The first movie is not good.
No.
The first prequel, it's not good. The second one's a little bit better, but the third one is what got people hyped because everything finally comes to the crescendo, you know.
Rewatch it. It's not as good as you remember, but
I mean, you can't watch those movies anymore without being like, oh, there's another meme that someone made out of this exact scene.
oh, we're on number 79 of our 1 million pans. But the thing about The Last Jedi, the more I after I rewatched it, is that it's what was that movie? The Hobbit is a great example of something that sets up the final. Like all of them just set up the final battle, but at least they were setting up towards something. The Last Jedi has not set up
Towards
anything.
Yeah, you're right. It hasn't set up
Literally nothing. All it did is put all of our characters in the Millennium Falcon. There's no like what's gonna. I mean, I actually have a theory about how it's gonna go, but obviously Carrie Fisher can't be in it.
Yeah, she passed away. Yeah.
Well, they'll pull some Rogue One CG.
No, what they're
I don't think they're gonna do that.
What they're gonna do is it's gonna start off at her funeral.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Like as a throwback to the end of the Star Wars, like a funeral as they're getting awards, they're gonna do the same fucking thing.
Maybe.
But yeah, The Last Jedi didn't set up anything. All it did was create bullshit moments with no substance behind it.
Well,
For fans.
See, the thing is, they don't have to set up anything. All the hard work has already been done. The Hobbit had this really bad, where it didn't matter how bad the Hobbit movies were. Of course, I'm gonna go see it because it's more Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And the Hobbit movies were all pretty bad.
Were they all pretty?
They
bad?
were.
I haven't seen them in a while.
I thought the first one was okay, but the other two just felt really bloated.
The first one was not good, but it's like, all right, I can sit through this. The second one was horrendous, and the third one wasn't even really related to the book. And
the third one was the worst.
You're getting the same thing with these new Star Wars movies. They don't have to be good. You already love the franchise.
Oh yeah, they're just coasting.
It doesn't matter. Like you're still gonna eat out of the diaper.
Well, the cult members are gonna lap it up anyway. Like
So
they'll go to the fucking Star Wars celebrations and
the brand name is big enough to where if it's bad, okay, now I gotta go see it, find out how bad was it.
Yeah.
So they don't have to make good movies because the thing is, you're still gonna eat out of the garbage can.
Solo
They
failed.
just made it to sell porn plushies.
You know, I certainly hope so.
Oh, those little fucking
And porn
blue milk.
plushies and blue milk. Yeah.
Wait, but I thought The Hobbit was bad because they shot it weird, or it was in a weird the frames per second was something off, and people got sick.
No, the Hobbit.
I don't know
bad, but because the writing
that
was
the
bad,
thing I heard where it was
didn't follow the book all that close. It was. The Hobbit is like a 120-page book. You can fit it into one movie. It did not 9 hours of The Hobbit.
Yeah.
If the Lord of the Rings movies had the same amount of hour of movie 2-page, the Lord of the Rings series would be a couple hundred hours.
Yeah.
So
it turns out that making those profit-motivated decisions of having to stretch shit out can often make things really shit. It worked when they had the Harry Potter movies and they split the seventh book.
I was
into
actually
parts.
just about to bring that up.
Yeah.
So
because both those parts are great.
Yeah, but the so the new one, the what's it called, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah.
So first of all, the first movie of that is really good. If
I
you
haven't seen it actually.
it's pretty good. The second movie, holy shit, it is
because the second movie requires Johnny Depp to act in it.
Well,
and
so
do you know how washed up Johnny Depp is?
Isn't he like a drunk?
He
Like a
lives
raging
in
drunk?
a mansion by himself, smoking weed and drinking wine.
that sounds like a life.
There is a Rolling
pretty sure
Stone
he's
article,
super
an interview
depressed.
they did with him. Insane. The man looks like an AIDS patient. He's so not trivializing that disease, but he looks fucking emaciated.
He's in so much crippling debt right now.
Oh yeah,
He's got a bajillion
houses. And
he has 20-something houses.
Let's just ask him to hang out with us, and
Johnny
he
Depp
might
Jr.
actually
come hang
do
out.
it.
there was a quote in the article where it was like they were going, his accounts were pouring over his fine. It's like, oh, you're spending like $10,000 a month on wine. He's like, what? $10,000? I'm spending way more than that a month. It's like, how do you feel bad for that person at all?
Yeah.
Didn't he have like a really bad divorce with his wife? Like he was
There was
or something.
He's accused of like.
They became persona non grata in Australia for bringing fucking dogs in there. That's what happened to him.
I believe it was Amber Heard, and first she said that he was physically abusing her.
Yep.
But what it turned
I
out
wouldn't doubt it.
was that she was the one hitting him, and she was like,
Awesome.
Engineering the whole thing to boost her acting career. And she said this like herself in legal testimony, I believe.
She confessed.
She confessed
yeah,
to doing this. She
But it doesn't
confessed
matter
to
because Johnny
creating the
Depp
whole
is
situation.
turbo washed up and Amber Heard is attractive.
I
But
just think
that's
I think he's a crippling drunk. I think that's really.
Oh, yeah.
That's.
I offer a solution for all of them.
Mm.
It's my little friend Karl Marx. He's got some ideas on what to do with
Oh
these people.
god.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Oh, this is why we weren't gonna invite him.
Just
Gonna-
saying, man.
Gonna take him to the guillotine and like a bunch of cash just like falls out of the neck hole.
Well, I mean, you
Doesn't
said
he have
it.
like 20 houses?
make him work
like,
for the
I mean,
conservation
fuck me,
club.
man. Like,
Not to say. it
But
would
he
be
doesn't have
good.
any money. He just owes money for all those
Oh,
things.
maybe he does.
yeah, but then he'll just do another Pirates movie and pay his taxes. That's what it is. You know, he has
He
to wear
tried
an ear,
that.
he has
He
to wear
tried
an
that 3
earpiece.
times.
He has to wear an earpiece to do those movies. Have someone feed his lines to him because he's so fucking washed up.
Yeah,
He can't
especially
even
the
memorize
newer ones.
lines.
I mean, it doesn't help that those movies are not written very well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not that crazy. Like Marlon Brando,
No,
who's
no, no.
considered.
Yeah.
Oh,
The first few movies are very good, I
Yeah.
think.
First three.
First Pirates.
But
of
the
Caribbean
ones after,
gets
the ones
fire
after
in
with
my
just
heart.
Johnny Depp,
Oh, those ones.
yeah, those ones aren't very good.
Once Orlando Bloom, I mean the first three are fantastic. I still love those movies. I probably watch them once a month. But after like 4 was terrible.
Oh,
Once Legolas was out of there, like,
See,
Yeah.
the point I'm saying is like Johnny Depp's rest of his career is going to be doing Jack Sparrow or Jack Sparrow-esque characters.
Who knows?
And
He
it's gonna
may.
be big sad.
So he's been kind of
because
like
he used to be guy doing like weird independent movies all the time.
Yeah.
Like that was his thing. That's what he wanted to do. He didn't
But
want to be a
he may
blockbuster guy.
do a Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage did the same thing. He got really washed out.
I watched Mandy last
but now
night,
he's
dude. That
doing
movie is
weird
fucking
yeah.
crazy.
Oh my god, Mandy is fucking awesome.
It's really
I
I love that
see it.
movie.
highly, highly.
It's
horrible.
so Mandy looks like what a stoner metal
Oh yeah, I
sounds
was gonna say like no, I was watching it and I was going through the first part of it. I'm like, wow, this like droning synth music, these colors, these long shots. It's like this reminds me of Beyond the Black Rainbow. So I stopped.
Yeah.
And I looked it up. Same fucking guy.
Yeah, it's the same guy, and he's
Really?
Yeah.
he's a very eccentric guy. Like those are the only 2 movies he's
Can't
made.
make that. Have you seen Beyond
And
the
they're
Black
years
Rainbow?
and years
Barrett? It's fucking insane.
I really like that movie. Like it's not a.
You were
good
the only
movie
one who got
necessarily.
through it. We tried to watch it together, and I remember.
I
vaguely
watched it
what that-
3 times. I've gotten through that thing 3 times.
Isn't it just some like
I just-
telekinetic girl escapes from some weird?
Yeah.
I think it's always interesting to look at those filmmakers that really focus on the visual, their visual
Oh my
style.
God, that
Like
shit was
him,
crazy.
that guy, and I wish I could remember his name. The director of Mandy. I wish I could remember his name so I could say it.
Penthos.
Yeah, it's Panthos something. He's a Greek guy, I believe.
Just like Yorgos Lanthimos.
Wes Anderson's another one.
Maybe it's his doppelganger. Penthos
Who else?
Levigebos.
Well, there was-
Who else has a very high emphasis on
I mean,
visuals?
he's
Quentin
not-
Tarantino does to an
Nicholas
extent.
Winding Refn.
Stanley Kubrick.
Panos
Yeah.
Cosmatos. That's
Yep.
his name.
Yeah.
For Mandy.
That
Panos.
sounds like that. His name
Some
sounds like the
animation.
movies he makes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Cosmatos.
Oh, so I mean, it's not crazy in the sense that Mandy or like Tarantino is, but the guy who did Hereditary, he's got a
Oh, yeah.
weird, cold.
He's
style.
coming out with a new movie.
Yeah,
also
did you
about
see
a
that?
cult.
No.
Midsommar. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah.
Midsommar.
I can't wait for that because the Hereditary. It took me forever to watch, but holy
Yeah.
shit, that is a roller coaster.
I don't think I'd categorize him as someone who really focuses on the visuals a lot. I'd say he more focuses on like a very well-rounded screenplay.
Yeah, but I mean, like in Hereditary, it just felt.
Although I don't know if he actually wrote the screenplay to that. I don't know.
I think
he was
he
the director.
did.
I don't know the actual involvement he had in the writing,
Right.
or even the cinematography. Because some directors
All
go a
these
lot in
movies
cinematography.
Is that a
Directors
droning
go writing.
soundtrack makes a horror movie extra scare?
Oh yeah.
Because
Well-
that's what That's what Mandy is like, and that's what Hereditary is like. That's
the best.
A director who has amazing visuals is Jared Hess. If you take a look at, in my opinion, best movie ever made,
No.
Nacho Libre.
Okay.
Oh God.
No, you laugh.
Has he done it? What are the movies?
I have no idea.
Hasn't he also done
I just looked up his
Napoleon
name.
Dynamite?
I don't really know, and I can't really be.
I think you're right.
I cannot be moved to give a damn. But Nacho Libre has amazing visuals. I watched it recently, and I was truly surprised by the sublime quality.
I was so pissed when it got snubbed at the Oscars, man.
Yeah.
Didn't even get a nomination.
Hey, no,
like that's when you know the movie's really good, when it doesn't even make it to the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like
Hey,
it's above that level.
You
It's
smirk
so
and laugh,
underground.
but we can sit down and watch it right now, and you will all be genuinely surprised at how good it is, how good the visuals are,
Let's
and
watch
how
it.
good the physical gags are.
Everyone knows the most patrician awards, the Kids' Choice Awards.
Yeah, and it's sweet. It's sweet. The Kids' Choice
They
Awards.
throw those Oscars in the trash when they get home. Those orange blimps.
You've seen the picture of Leonardo
Head of the trophy
DiCaprio
room.
when he won the Kids' Choice Award?
Who?
No.
Okay, so he
Wait,
won.
what did he win that for?
I don't remember.
Wait, who
what
won the
movie.
Kids' Choice Award?
Leonardo DiCaprio. He won it for
What?
something before he won an Oscar. So when he got it, the
you were
award, he was
Titanic.
like his face. You can't see it on the podcast, but he's like just he looks like.
Was it like maybe it was Titanic? Or
No, this was
I
recent.
I can't
Pretty
think of a
recent.
movie that he would be in. That
Yeah,
kids
here
would-
it
He might
is.
have done like
Here.
a guest
What
voice.
is
I
it?
found a picture. It's from 2009.
What
I don't know what
movie?
it's for, but
Well, do you see the picture? You
Shutter
showed
Island.
yeah, here you go. It is only
Shutter
that,
Island.
only that green
Shutter
balloon.
Island wins best picture. At
Well,
the
it's
Kids'
not gonna be
Choice
for like
Awards.
Django Unchained, like best scene where you horribly murder black people.
So it's gonna-
Kids' Choice Award.
So it's going to be the movie about Leonardo DiCaprio by Martin Scorsese, where he's insane and murdered his family. Okay, that's a Kids' Choice Awards nominee.
Shutter Island's so good, man.
I actually haven't seen it. I just
Sure,
know
I haven't
everything
seen
about
it
it.
either.
Shutter Island is fine.
Oh,
There's read the book.
so
Don't give away twists. I will kill you.
he just did.
speaking about Martin
Well, I didn't hear it,
Scorsese.
so-
Okay, speaking about Martin Scorsese, for my birthday last week, we were here for St. Patty's Day as well. We watched The Departed, and we played a Departed drinking game. And this is after we had already done a couple Irish car bombs,
Oh
right?
no.
Oh dear lord.
It was so I don't remember the rules, but me and Grant
Oh, it
got
was,
fucked up
Every time a phone rings, every time a racial slur is used,
every time.
And you take a drink.
every
for each of these.
time
Yes.
someone says rat,
Microprocessors.
or they say they're not a cup.
Every time
a
someone
cop.
dies,
Every time they say
So-
microprocessors, yeah.
we got fucked.
I couldn't even make it
And
halfway.
Alec
I
Baldwin.
died halfway through that movie.
Yeah.
Every time Alec Baldwin goes on yells at someone,
I've watched that movie so much in the past couple of weeks. Oh man.
it's that and Shooter are two movies that whenever they're on, I could sit there and watch and enjoy.
Yeah.
Even though
See-
Shooter is so bad.
See, I know you like watching Shooter so much, but I actually tried to watch that movie and I couldn't.
Shooter is.
I couldn't sit through it.
Is
I couldn't-
monka schlock, dude. It's terrible.
It's just it's you're home you're home from school when you were a kid and sick and you are half awake and you turn on FX and it's on halfway through and you're like, okay, and you just watch it and you're falling in and out of sleep as it's going.
Yeah, dude.
That's
it's so good.
That is an entire category of movies I put stuff into.
I don't like those kind of movies. I can't do it. It just makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, Perfect Stranger with Bruce Willis and Halle Berry. Remember that movie?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Never seen.
No.
Really?
You ever
Okay.
seen Birth of
You guys
a
always
Nation?
bring up
Came out
movies
in
that I haven't seen.
1915.
I watch
I
movies.
have
That's
seen-
I'll watch that
I
every
watched-
time it comes
I
on.
have seen Birth of a Nation. I did have to watch it for my history class.
It was the first blockbuster in
It
the
was the
U.S. That's
first
such a
blockbuster,
fucked up
yeah.
fact.
That's strange.
You know, I was actually just listening to a podcast earlier today about race riots and how it is.
Oh, and they burn down whole cities and
yeah,
shit.
and how it's just not really all that fun to be black.
Was it Tulsa, the one where it was they called it the Wall Street for black people, pretty much? It was where all the really
Oh yeah, and then they carpet bombed them or something.
Yeah, and they just fucking burned their whole city down. I think it was
Yeah,
Tulsa.
yeah.
Wasn't it?
Well, no,
Oklahoma?
that's something that happens every 20 to 30 years.
Just to balance the scales.
No, with relative
Someone does the
predictability.
Thanos meme perfectly with the shots of the race
Oh my
riots.
god.
Well, no, it's
Please,
with,
someone do that,
Perhaps
please.
we should move this away.
with relative predictability. If you look at America's track record, 20 to 30 years you can get that. Every 5 to 20 years you can expect a couple mass burnings at the stake. This is just what American history is.
Speaking of every 5 years, the new on the topic of movies as well, the new Endgame trailer came out a week ago.
I don't know. Barely showed anything.
I have the Marvel juice is drained from my soul. I don't care about those movies anymore.
Well, I'm
actually kind of excited for Endgame.
I'm excited for Endgame.
I'll watch it just because Infinity War was good, and so I want to see how it ends. But
Brie Larson's really
there's all those
cute.
memes about they're gonna beat Thanos by Ant-Man expanding his ass or whatever. Everywhere.
That's a legitimate strategy.
I certainly hope that happens.
If I was Ant-Man, that's what I would do.
But
Honestly,
Pain his ass.
That'd be good viral marketing. Like Marvel secretly puts out these Ant-Man ass expanding memes. They just sift it through like money laundering, and then the movie comes out. He actually does that.
see, one of the things I don't like about the Marvel movies is like their powers don't really matter because like
when you have so many superheroes, it really does. Because you're like, you get someone who's new to Marvel, like me, a year ago, and I'm like, who's the most powerful guy? And you kind of just go.
Well, that's the problem when you have most powerful guy being a fucking demigod and the least powerful person being a woman who shoots guns. She shoots guns really well and does karate kicks, but that disparity makes it boring.
See, there are really dumb things like I think it's in like Iron Man 2 where Tony Stark is able to make a army of like his Iron Man suits.
That's funny.
But the thing is, he just chooses not to use that to protect people. So it's like that's real. That is a stupid plot point. It's like I could solve these problems, but you know what I'm gonna do? Not solve the problem.
Well, first of all, Iron Man 2 was crap.
Yes.
I'm not saying like
and
it's.
secondly,
Iron Man 3 was the one where you had the army of robots, I think. Iron Man 2
he had some in Iron Man.
Iron Man
They
2
fought
is
him in
where
Iron Man
Mickey
2, him
Rourke
and Rhodes.
whips.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, they fight the Iron Man suits. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say, the reason Marvel feels like that is because Marvel's power scale is a lot different than DC's.
It's ridiculous.
DC's power scale is a little ridiculous. Like, it's universe-bounding, mind-altering stuff. There's literally... In Marvel, there is God. There's a character in Marvel called the One Above All, who's supposed to represent actually God.
The world over heaven.
Yeah. So in
That's basically the same.
in DC, excuse me, in DC there's the One Above All. Marvel doesn't have that. So Marvel has mutants. They have the X-Men. That's something. And then Marvel also has, which
Disney has.
They have
by the
some.
way.
They have some, they have the Titans, the Titan Thanos and all that stuff like that. But DC has the old gods, the new gods, like a bunch of different planes of existence, hell, heaven, every every mythology's world is in DC. So DC scale is huge. That's what I'm trying to...
Like the Greek gods.
Hercules is a character. There's a Hercules character. So, that's why, if you want world-shattering stuff, you kind of go to DC. If you want more kind of... I'd say it's more grounded in normal stuff. I think that's more Marvel.
But
even with the, the stuff that's happening right now.
But why...
And the whole, Doctor Strange with the fucking deity.
Yeah, with the... So, yeah, Marvel has some outlier characters that are ridiculous. Doctor Strange is one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel universe. He's... if you go off the comic books...
He has one of the kidney stones.
Yeah.
No, see, Doctor Strange, the way they used him in End War was really stupid because
End
they just
War.
End War.
Oh, End War.
Tom Clancy's End War.
Whatever.
Infinity War.
Yeah,
that's what you meant.
Well, but what they had him do was
he just fought that.
Well, no, they just had him sit down and then explain the plot of the next couple movies and say hey, we already won. I looked in the future, so see ya. Just sit around and wait for it.
Yeah. So
which is such a stupid plot point.
Yeah.
It's a superhero movie.
He was underutilized.
We know the good guys are gonna win anyway, but to explicitly say in the beginning of a multi-part miniseries and say all right, well, we already won.
He doesn't say that.
He does. He says
we win in 1 out of 14 million.
Yes, so he found the way, and he said, this is the only way, and he gets the ball rolling.
But he doesn't reveal it.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't
he doesn't have the
necessarily-
time to explain it.
Doesn't necessarily. I mean, they're gonna
Yeah,
win.
well, yes,
But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win
Yeah.
though, because
that's
Yeah,
something
at what
that could be
cost?
contingent on so many
Well,
other
Yeah, he can
decisions.
see the future, but he can't control.
Well, they
it.
already give away that they're what cost because the movie's called Endgame. The whole point is it's a chess reference.
Yes.
Where the end game of chess is where you're there's the beginning, middle, and end of chess, and the end of chess is when you're doing a lot of sacrifices, a lot of gambits,
The
a
thing about-
lot of
I'm gonna tell you this right
sacrificing
now.
your good pieces.
There's no
to do
way
good
that they're
things.
gonna leave all those characters dead.
There's no
I
way
don't
they
think
don't.
so.
Robert Downey Jr.
Well,
ain't coming back.
Yeah, the
Fuck
for-
that. He
For
Well,
Cap-
he's coming back. If you just look at the trailer, he suits up again.
No, he's
No.
coming back, but there's no way he's
They're-
coming back.
their
after this
contracts
movie.
Oh, for another movie? Yeah,
the
no, I
contracts
think he's.
are-
I
Those
think he's
OG
pretty-
Avengers, they're all fucking
Well,
on, dude.
me and Nate were discussing this. We're like,
Everyone knows that.
someone's going to die. Like, it's gonna be Tony Stark, Captain, or whatever he's called now.
Captain America.
Yeah, or he doesn't be like Steve Rogers or
Captain
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
Thor,
Or
or
one of
D,
those, one of those
all
guys
of the
that-
above. Like,
See,
or
that's
E,
the
all
thing
of the
about Marvel,
above.
though, is I thought it would be really pandering to people's like, oh, everyone's gonna come back, right? They're just gonna get the
No.
time stone, reverse it all, and everything's good. But
No,
I
some
think
characters are gonna die.
I think
agree
they've
with
done
you.
a really good job of subverting, expectations because, like, okay, half the fucking universe dies.
Wait a minute. Why did none of the plants go away?
I
If
think,
They don't have a soul.
I
They
think
don't
I
have
think it
souls.
meant when he said that.
That's
he
true,
meant
yeah.
sentient beings that.
That
Yeah,
consume-
souls. Because
Well-
there is one of the stones on the Infinity Gauntlet is the Soul Stone.
Yes.
So the soul.
And we don't necessarily know that the plants didn't. Some
Well,
plants
you didn't
did
see any
disappear.
plants go away is the thing.
Yeah, I mean we just
All it
saw a
showed
bunch
was
of
a
people.
oh no, they were standing in Wakanda, and it was still pretty fucking great.
But
Well,
do you
I-
think it's? But you think it's
Yeah, okay,
maybe eliminates entire species of some plant and then not?
Well,
all
what if there's
plants?
like a half human, half plant,
No, no.
half alien hybrid?
Do you think
Such
half
as Groot.
Do you think half the Venus flytraps went away?
Yeah.
No,
Thanos
Thanos.
half the weed went away, dude. No, we gotta really take out Thanos.
Thanos said his motivation for getting rid of half of the universe was for resources.
Sure.
That the universe
Right.
couldn't support the amount of
the
people in it
plants
right
are the
now.
resource.
So, because he has the Infinity Gauntlet, he can determine what gets wiped.
Why wasn't he just make more resources?
Wait, why doesn't Thanos just blow up the Infinity?
No one said
Gauntlet?
Thanos was a smart. He's
Well,
not.
I'm just saying, like, if he
Because
can do...
because Ryan, there's
if he
no
can do
movie
anything-
if they don't do that.
Well, okay, so the movie's made on a dumb premise, and they tell you how the.
I actually think it's an interesting premise because Thanos thinks he's right.
I
That
think
he's a psychopath and that.
I think the premise can be whatever they want it to be, as
Well, I
long as
mean-
it's executed well.
And it was.
And Infinity War was executed
Yeah.
almost.
I would say the
perfectly.
surprise wasn't so much that he won because I figured he was gonna win because it's boring if
He
he
had to.
doesn't.
Yeah.
The surprise was that they killed off the characters that they did. So now I'm like, wait, you get off all the Guardians of the Galaxy are dead, but this dumb blue cyborg lady is alive. That's like the least interesting character.
The raccoon's still alive.
Yeah,
Yeah, Rocket's still alive.
Also, the thing is
Fuck
with
Bradley
Thanos
Cooper.
is like disregarding like morals. He's not wrong.
Yeah, he is. He's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fucking
he is.
murdering
Wait, wait, no,
psychopath.
What-
But that's the
Wait,
point.
wait,
He's
wait,
not
wait, wait.
wrong about how.
Let Jake make his case.
No, he's not wrong because the whole thing is if you get rid of half the population, that population can continue going on because they'll have enough resources.
No,
If we were all
well,
systematic beings,
okay.
it would be a good idea.
Because if he brings it down to the carrying capacity of the universe, that means for everything born, an equal amount has to die. Because if he just drops it down to the carrying capacity, that means you're already at the cap.
So like you're
So-
sitting on a woman's in labor, so there's a 50-50 chance she's gonna shoot out a baby or just dust out of her vagina.
Yes.
Is what you're saying. Like
because
that's a real
so you're
big
already
fucking
at
bummer
the
right
carrying
there.
capacity. So like, all right, well we got this new baby. Let's find an old person.
But
Let's whack him.
having 500 quadrillion beings in the universe and adding one to that isn't adding another 500 quadrillion beings to it.
No,
No.
but he dropped it down to the
No,
carrying
so
capacity.
okay, so this is something that we actually talked about in one of my classes: the fear of overpopulation.
Malthusianism.
Yeah. So the thing is that what happens is, first of all, our Earth even now can support way more.
Yeah.
We have not tapped into the resources of Earth fully yet. We
It's
can
crazy to
support
think though there are
way
8
more.
billion people in the world.
Yeah, so we can support
I
way more
remember
just
when I
for.
thought it was 6 billion and it was crazy.
I think 16 billion is sort of looked at as the cap if people drop their consumption down.
I don't know what the actual cap is. I'd have to look, but we can support way more. But the thing is that the population kind of corrects for itself eventually. I don't even think we'll reach the cap in our lifetime. I don't even think we'll get close in our lifetime.
Probably a superbug might cut us
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, but I think the population.
Yeah, with all the anti-vaxxers.
The population will correct for itself. So Thanos is stupid. He's not using the Infinity Gauntlet to its full potential. If he actually used the Infinity Gauntlet the way that the comics describe its power, he could solve all the problems. He didn't need to get rid of half.
The point is that he's a psychopath.
Yes, he's a psychopath, and we need a movie.
That's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to kill things.
So is he the best Marvel villain they've ever put out? I can't think
He's
of
the most
anyone.
complex one, really.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's the best superhero villain that's been put in a movie.
Yeah.
Just because
I can't think
with
of
the
a better
exception of Dark Knight Joker,
Yeah.
or some other, or Jack Nicholson Joker, even because Joker's an amazing character.
Because it's not like he wants. It's not necessarily that he wants power. He just wants to put order back into the universe.
He feels like he's the only one who can correct.
Exactly.
From a writing standpoint, I'd say in the style of a superhero
He's just,
movie,
like so corrupt.
I think it's between Thanos and Joker for who's the best, but they're so totally different styles that it's hard to compare them, really. But as far as like straight up
honorable
vanilla
mention?
superhero movie level, I think Thanos is the best villain, just because of how much care and effort they put into making you understand his motivation. Because when you understand a villain's motivation, when you understand what he's trying to do, even if you also understand that it won't work the way he thinks it will or whatever, you still can connect with that character. And when you can connect with that character, you get invested. And when you get invested, the movie's fun.
Yeah.
Honorable mention is Kevin Spacey in the Superman movie. When he yells it and he's like, how you gonna stop me? And she's like, Superman. And he goes, wrong! It's the best thing I've ever seen. He's just dancing. He's comically villainous. That's the best part of that fucking movie.
Or Danny DeVito as Penguin.
Yes, that is the best.
That's just nightmare fuel. That's,
he's fucking freaky.
I love all those edits that people do of like scenes in that movie, and they'll put over like Frank Reynolds lines over it.
So Thanos also has he just has results-based thinking. He saw his planet die. I'm gonna keep talking about Thanos. Sorry. He saw his who knows?
No one saw their planet die.
Who?
Me.
Did a planet get blown up in Dune?
Caillou.
I want to watch the fucking new Dune movie. Is what I want to see.
Have you seen the ending of Caillou? Where
Asgard planet gets blown up.
Yeah.
That part's fucking weird.
You know Asgard gets destroyed in Infinity War. Remember that? Well, in the movie, the Thor movie before
Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok. Asgard gets destroyed.
Yo,
are you saying Asgard?
Best
Asgard,
part
yes.
about
Asgard.
Thor Ragnarok
Don't make fun of how I talk, Luke.
is the Hulk gets erectile dysfunction, and that is hilarious.
That's a fun movie. That
Like,
is just fun.
Could you say that Bruce Banner's Hulk form is his not erect?
We've all seen the infamous GIF, right?
Depends what critical lens you're using.
Abdul's definitely. You guys have seen the infamous GIF,
So,
right? Where Hulk turns to look at Black Widow and they fucking.
Oh yeah,
they cut
and then
to that.
it's some like stretched out like porno with the guy called tinted green, and it's like a huge thick cock.
What is this?
Okay, so I'm gonna describe a GIF for you, Abdul. So it's a shot from I think the first Avengers movie where Hulk just kind of like looks over.
He turns around and grins.
He turns around and grins, and then it cuts to like a close-up shot of like people fucking in missionary position.
First he turns to look at Black Widow, and Black Widow's like staring up, and then he grins, and then it cuts.
And then it cuts to a porno where people are fucking in the missionary position, and it's the camera's. I'm trying to explain this. I've never had to explain a GIF before, I think. But the camera's situated like right where the ball sack goes into the. I mean, the ball sack doesn't go into it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
It's right underneath like this, right?
Yeah, and so what they did to make it look like Hulk was they stretched it out, and then they tinted him green.
Oh my god. See, that's the one.
What's so fucking iconic, dude?
That is cursing. I hate that.
Yeah, it's
It looks so like it looks
By the
painful.
way, I looked up.
It looks so aggressive.
All I did is I looked up
The Hulk.
fuck GIF. There's a bunch of
That was
those.
like a classic, like 4chan
It's
shock
just, like,
gift. It
filled
was
with
great.
it.
Oh.
There's so many. There's probably a goatsy variation.
That always reminds me of the image of a guy has a fleshlight in between his mattress, and he has a printed out picture of Yoda on top, and the fleshlight's green. I love that.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
These are things we're not
Green
gonna see
private
anymore.
parts. That's now the discussion.
So
Green genitals.
one of my favorite gifts is you ever heard like this thing is called Deepfakes? Apparently,
Yeah.
people use AI to like put other people's faces on other.
There's a really good one
People-
with
They'll put like famous actresses on like they'll like put their faces on like porn actresses
So,
while a scene's going
My
on.
favorite
really good one with Steve Buscemi on Jennifer Lawrence.
is you take. So what you do is you take gay porn and you put Jordan Peterson's face as both people.
Oh my god! One of my favorite YouTube videos of all time is the one where they did an edit of like, they took two different Joe Rogan podcasts with Jordan Peterson and then made him talk to himself.
They did
my
one
God.
where it was Joe Rogan meets Ro Jogan, and he's like talking to himself. He's like,
Just like smoking weed.
The weed one with that Eric posted in our group where it was like they were smoking weed with the music and then it just Alex Jones going up and then the interdimensional
The interdimensional globalists are bringing in chemtrails to.
wait. So do you guys think Joe
abort our-
Rogan's gonna
our
get thrown under the bus
to castrate our
when we inevitably have like a fatwa against far right people and it becomes like a lot more acceptable? Like once the far right spell is broken, I think it will be broken eventually. Who knows how long it can be. And these
enough
people are gonna
die.
get
A lot of
vilified,
people die.
right?
Yeah.
Is Joe Rogan gonna get thrown under the bus?
No,
Is he that? I don't think
He's had Jordan Peterson, he's had Ben Shapiro, he's had Steven Crowder, he's had a lot of really.
He also has
controversial people on the show.
radical socialists.
Candace
on
Owens
there
is on the
with,
show.
Yeah, I feel like he does it in as like
Yeah, I mean, I think people give Joe Rogan too much credit. He's not like a fucking like villainous mastermind.
No,
like, I'm gonna make all these right wing people.
I literally think
go to the media.
he just invites those guests on
He's
because
just
he knows they'll get views.
Yeah, and honestly, people look at that they're very myopic. They look at that 1% of guests he has on. 90% of his guests are stand-up comics, or MMA people, or nature people. I
think Joe Rogan is friendly enough with the center that he won't get lambasted like that. I don't think.
The problem with Joe Rogan is he's like easily fascinated and not particularly bright.
he doesn't fact check.
He sounds like he's endorsing like whatever anyone's saying because like his smooth monkey brain is just blown by like Joe Rogan believes whatever he's heard in the last 15 minutes. Like, he's not
got the memory of a goldfish.
He has taken one too many.
think-
He's taken one too many blows to the head. He's not particularly bright, and he will sound like a neo-Nazi if he's talking to a neo-Nazi. He will sound like a Stalinist if he's talking to a Stalinist. So, I don't think he's far right or far left. I just don't think he's like bright enough to like think those thoughts.
I think he wants to, when he's doing a podcast, he wants to keep the conversation going as consistently as possible. So he probably, if he's talking with a neo-Nazi, he's going to engage them with neo-Nazi topics, right?
that's just being a host. But if
Yeah,
you're
but-
being a
I
host-
get you.
if you're being the host of a like CNN, which is pandering to a certain audience, or like Fox News, right? You only lean into that. But as someone who I would say he's journalistic, where he has all these people on, he's trying to share. I don't know whether he's just fascinated. Like why would you want Alex Jones on your podcast? Unless you were really into.
I think
Alex
he's
Jones.
friends with him.
I think they're
like he used to. There's like it's a
You guys
fantastic
know-
clip where he and Joey Diaz go on Prison Planet, or Alex Jones' old podcast, and Joey Diaz just goes off
Did
about
they escape
shit.
from the prison planet?
So
Get out! Eject!
nice thing about
Escape from the prison planet!
the thing that's kind of fun about Alex Jones is he's really one of the only people who's focusing time on both selling protein supplements and taking down the interdimensional time traveling psychic vampire globalists. And it's nice to see someone who's like both a beat salesman and also like a freedom fighter who's fighting against 16-foot tall reptilians. And that's kind of nice.
Yeah, but then you
don't see that very often.
But you lose me when you go after the fucking Sandy Hook parents.
Well,
that was
Hey, man,
that was
Christ,
ridiculous.
Did you see the most recent Alex Jones Joe Rogan
Did
podcast?
he go out about the New Zealand shit or what? Oh,
Well,
that one's been
he
before.
clarifies that situation. and I don't know how like truthful it even is, but he basically rescinded that. He believes now that it really happened.
The damage
and he
has been
apologized.
done. His fucked up followers are going to believe that regardless. They'll probably just say, "Oh, he's saying this, but he's being pressured by the deep state." Like that's the thing with conspiracy theories. You can always dig a further hole. You can go further down.
Yeah.
If
But
someone
you know-
debunks your shit, you just debunk the debunking by.
Well, he could have
digging your
he could have avoided
heels in, yeah.
he could have avoided talking about it at all, but he chose to apologize for it.
No,
So
that's
at
not
least
it at
he
all.
went that far.
That
Like, how
is-
much farther can you go?
That's not it at all, because he understands that his true fans know that he's fucking the deep state in the ass.
I think he understands that like his true fans know that. Like,
where's my deep state parody porn?
it's
I haven't seen it
He's
yet.
just fucking
Like-
I would have
going
figured
at
we
the
get
deep
more
state.
Donald Trump parody porn by this point, like Donald Trump fucks the deep state, like
I don't really go
throat
searching
state
for
or something
that,
like
so-
that. You know, where is that? I don't.
deep throat state.
Yeah, I'd like to live in that state.
Wait, so wait, what did he rescind? Did he rescind his Sandy Hook thoughts, or
Yes.
took him long enough?
He does not believe, and apparently that wasn't the first time he apologized for it.
He's probably.
I think he had to do it in court or something.
Well, didn't
Getting
he
to
also
the bottom of the deep state.
What's interesting is that when he was in court for whatever, I could
His divorce proceedings.
Probably his
Yeah.
divorce
Yeah,
proceedings.
he said part of his defense was that
Yeah,
he was playing a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
And-
is something we've known since like the 90s when it was like Alex Jones and like George Norrie and stuff talking about like I don't know like what do you think Sasquatch's favorite beer is?
Yeah.
Like it's not
Hams.
I watched that.
Yes.
I watched that whole Joe Rogan podcast, the most recent one with Alex Jones, and hearing him talk. If he's doing a character, that's incredibly impressive. The way he can
he's fucking
sit in
invested
it for
yeah.
so long and not break character.
Well, you remember in The Prestige, this is like really far-fetched. They're talking about how the guy, the performer, that 90-year-old performer, can do the trick with the goldfish, right? The old Chinese guy.
Right.
You've seen that movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's like, and they're questioning like,
This is
he
the real
always
act,
in
yeah.
character? Because they're like, how could this guy lift this filled water bowl without like pulleys? He doesn't use pulleys. Okay, well then he is pretending to be an old man all the time.
To be like frail and shit like that.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, so that becomes...
This is
I
the
mean,
real
like,
magic.
yeah.
This
How
is
long do
something
you
he
pretend before it becomes real?
Yeah, so maybe Alex Jones is... I mean, and
Aren't
listen
there
to
a
what
bunch
he
of
said.
cases of like women
That's a good
dressing
point,
up
yes.
as men or something like that and getting away with like for like being like a nurse or something like that? There's a million like there's got to be Brian historical examples of women impersonating men.
Yeah, there's a couple good examples from the American Civil War. There's a lot of
Have you guys ever seen Mulan?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, no, I
Anyway,
Alex,
get to your real examples if you want.
Let's get down to business, all right?
So like Alex Jones' podcast,
The Hun.
he daily produces a 4-hour podcast. I have listened to 2
Really?
episodes.
It's
This
4
is-
hours. Holy shit!
Do you know how he does this? 3 of those
Cocaine?
hours are commercials.
Oh yeah, it's like Tim
Selling a shitty
We
supplements.
people. You gotta realize here. Some of these people are genuinely ideologically motivated. A lot of them are also just fucking grifters.
Alex
Well,
Jones.
there are a lot of them are
people-
grifters.
Alex
What kind of
Jones
people are you
is
talking
not ideologically motivated.
Far right people.
Alex,
It's just the latest thing now, and a lot of people are just jumping on the
Alex
train.
Jones is just a happy water filter salesman. That's all he is.
Guys,
Yeah.
have you heard of Catalyst Mints?
No, I haven't.
Catalyst.
Yeah, really. Alex Jones is basically just a salesman.
Yeah.
He's just a mouthpiece to get money out of your wallet.
Though he does say like really wacky stuff, like this ointment will get like
Increase your testosterone. Make your hair grow back.
it will increase your testosterone.
This soy-based ointment will prevent the soy from
It'll get
destroying
those.
your brain.
It'll
or
also get
whatever it
those
is.
Jew ghosts out of your house.
Yeah.
It's like wow, huh? That's a funny turn there. Like
Man, it's
Honestly,
so fucked up.
something
That guy's a
okay.
character.
Something I felt since the shooting happened in New Zealand is that I feel like the far right now, not just the far right, I feel like even some of the moderate right are pushing an agenda really to keep the agenda that they push. I don't think they believe most of it. I don't think they believe most of what they say.
Well,
I think they push it because you have some people that agree with some of it, and then you have other people that agree with it because it gets them some sort of monetary benefit. So I feel like a lot of Republican senators, I feel like they're just in there because there's monetary benefit for
Well, they
them.
got to appeal to their base, and sometimes their base are more rabid than they ever will be. That's just
If
how it goes.
If I had to guess, I would assume that at least 60% of politicians are basically just in it for the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm a cynic. I'm gonna say 90.
If you ask Charles de Gaulle,
That's why I said at least.
Yeah.
Charles de Gaulle, one of the greater French politicians of probably the past 300 years, he has this great quote that he is amazingly surprised whenever he meets anyone who believes anything. Because if you're in politics, you have to be a nihilist. You can't, actually believe what you're saying and be in politics.
You don't necessarily have to be a nihilist, you just have to, be willing to say whatever you have to.
You have to be duplicitous, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's why people like Bernie Sanders so much, is that his views have been fairly consistent. Like
Throughout his life.
he got arrested for civil rights, not an endorsement of Bernie Sanders, but he got arrested for civil rights shit. There's old letters of him, a mayor of a bumfuck Vermont.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Birmingham is really buttfuck. What did I say? Bumfuck.
Yeah.
Bumfuck Vermont. And he wrote just a mayor of a town in the U.S. and he wrote a letter to the Queen of England. No, he wrote to Margaret Thatcher about the Troubles, when the IRA and that shit was really at fever pitch, and saying, hey, maybe stop treating Irish people like shit. And it's how do you think you have that much clout as someone like that, as a mayor of a town? Why would Margaret Thatcher ever listen to you? I don't know.
No, I mean,
Why do just normal citizens?
Margaret Thatcher is burning in hell.
Yeah, but he's not even a UK citizen or an Irish citizen.
I feel like we're reaching a tipping point here. Americans, especially the poorer ones, have been being baited by conservatives to think that the conservatives are doing what's best for them for a long time, and they're wising up, and they're not gonna let themselves get baited like this anymore, because whenever conservatives are it's the traditional conservative view is for business, right? Big business. Yeah. So, when you elect someone who lowers corporate tax rates and then increases tax rates on the middle and the poor class, enough times you're going to realize, oh wait, this guy is fucking me, and they've been fucking me for a long time, and I'm sick of it.
When the Amazon chastity belts come out, it's gonna happen, man.
I'm gonna interject here real quick. I think this is the first time we've ever actually talked about politics like this on the podcast. I would just like to put in a little disclaimer that we're not trying to push any sort of political agenda. We're not endorsing anything. I mean, as the Snastcast, we're not. I mean, this is. These
we are officially enlightened centrist. That's our idea.
We are the enlightened centrists. We float up into the sky.
We don't have to be centrist, but I just wanted to be clear that the style of these podcasts is just us getting people together and talking about things
politics.
We don't plan at all about what we're going to talk about.
We talk about politics and how much we love other men.
So if you want to smash the libs, donate to our Patreon.
Yeah.
I'm just saying with politics, it just gets touchy with people, especially in today's world.
But regardless
I
of
need
politics,
to put that disclaimer in there.
We are living in a very
Take everything we say with a grain of salt. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
but do your research.
We're at the end of an age. America has been a far-right country since around the mid-50s.
It's a bold statement.
Well, no, there was a major shift in the post-World War II boom, where a lot more people got a lot of money, and then they began to dismantle all the mechanisms through which they got money.
Wait, the love generation was far-right?
Yes, we've been an increasingly far-right country since the 1950s. That's when the march began. So union membership in this country used to be around 90%.
Like a labor perspective. I mean,
so
I agree with you.
The highest income bracket in this country used to be 98%.
I just don't know why we kowtow to the ultra rich so much.
You should.
We absolutely so much.
It has been it's leftover Cold War propaganda that has been allowed to sit and stew for long enough to the point where people are willing to throw away their self-interest and their civil rights in the name of making someone else money. So basically what the far right has been doing since... I think Richard Nixon is really the perfect example of this. He started doing his meddling in the late 40s, early 50s, when he really started changing what the Republican Party was.
Southern
and
strategy.
He's been selling cuckolding to the American worker for a long time. And
You're right.
no, like
You're right. You're
you
100%
laugh,
right.
but,
That's
like,
actually
that-
true.
And also the Southern strategy,
Conservatives
exploiting
are
racial
all about
ideology.
making cuckolding palatable.
Can you
And-
wait? Can you give an example of that, just to give an idea of what that looks like?
So,
Yeah, I don't think we can run with the direct quote of Republicans are all about
an example of
cuckolding.
this is, let's look at the American South, which is just a sucking, gaping hole of tax dollars. It does nothing but suck in federal tax dollars. The South as a whole is...
Do you mean now or in the 50s?
Right now,
Okay.
in the red Republican South is, for the most part, just basically they're
A
as
silly
states'
unit for
welfare
tax
bonds.
dollars.
It is, they are in net loss. They suck in federal dollars because they refuse to raise money to take care of themselves, because they've been selling this line to poor people in these states that, you know what's going to make your life better and get you more amenities? Not having amenities.
No.
Because you know who's gonna get those schools built and get the bathrooms fixed and the leak in the roof built?
Yeah.
Not the government with tax dollars for the schools, but if we get rid of the tax dollars, then a business might do it.
Wait, I'm still waiting for an example.
He's talking about tax
This
subsidies.
is the example.
Business,
People,
like,
Okay, it seems like a vague example.
so do you remember when you might have seen the news that Amazon was trying to like open up a second headquarters, and there are all these cities like trying to sucking Jeff Bezos' dick so they could get the headquarters.
Right.
And a big part of that was give us a shitload of tax breaks and we'll build this headquarters in you. And that's why it didn't end up going in New York, because they had this.
Another, actually, a really good example. This is a recent example and one that's more specific. Scott Walker in the state of Wisconsin.
Oh, that's a big
where
one.
Scott Walker's political
He's the governor of
philosophy
Wisconsin. If people don't
can
know.
be sort of summed up as jobs, where he's like this gremlin crawling around.
Did you say Jobs there?
Yeah, yes. He's like this golem crawling around, smashing unions so he can get more jobs that pay almost nothing.
the fucking right to work
What's the point
clause.
of jobs if they don't pay shit?
Okay, so here's how that general strategy works: is if
So companies
businesses
can
are
have
able to
slaves.
pay workers less than the workers can live off of, the workers then require welfare. Right? I'm trying to think of a way to say this quickly.
Yeah.
So if the workers are
You can take your time.
if the workers are sucking in welfare dollars
We'll do a Communist
To-
Manifesto bonus
to
episode.
augment their low pay, essentially what these companies are doing is they're using federal dollars to pay their workers in a roundabout way. And then they sell to the workers that, well, being on welfare is not, I guess, the best feeling.
Yeah.
You know, and so they sell the idea that if you're on welfare, you are lazy, a bit of a bum and a loser, and it's these dumb taxes that are getting in the way from these businesses really developing themselves
And paying you more, yeah.
And once the business develops themselves, that's when the jobs are going to be around. So now the cycle comes back around again. Lower the taxes a little bit more, get rid of a few more labor laws,
Yep.
get rid of a few more environmental regulations, and now everything gets worse. Oh, now your kid has pneumonia. Do you think it's from the mill? No, it can't be from the mill. And it's just this downward cycle. A place where you can really see this is any extraction town.
Yeah, coal.
Yep.
Coal.
Or
especially.
northern Minnesota. I was driving through the Mesabi earlier today, and you get these small towns of about
Ohio.
1,000 people, and they all have this big sign that says "job zone," and then it says tax free. So it's all about giving tax incentives to like someone. Please bring any jobs here because we've all gotten to the point to where we're so poor. Any job is a significant improvement because they slowly sold away their rights and entitlements to these companies, promising them just a little bit more.
No, we got tricked. The American people were tricked by big businesses.
Yes.
They were completely duped into giving away things, and all we got in return for it was lower paying jobs. That's it.
Well-
It's lower paying jobs, less benefits, less ability to fight.
I just don't get why people maybe are so willing to sell their souls to big business and just go out of their way. I mean, is it just that they get people who sound slightly smarter than they do to tell them that it's a good idea? I
To
guess.
60 years of a lot of propaganda and hard work to sell cuckolding and make it sound. No, it's make
No, I mean,
cuckolding sound
yeah.
like virtue.
I wouldn't use the word cuckolding, but you got it right. What's that quote where it's like, the way to turn a poor person again, like you just make them feel inferior to other poor people or something like that?
Essentially,
I don't know.
that's what
Turn them
make
against
it
other
just-
people.
yeah.
But I think we're getting close to running out of time here. I'm not
I will
that-
say though, we do live in a very surreal world when, to go way back to shootings, when a shooting is kicked off by a guy saying "subscribe to PewDiePie."
That was bad. That was just bad.
I knew one of these fucking things was gonna get live streamed eventually, but that's just
It's
oh god.
the world. This has been like, look at the way.
This is the natural evolution of the information age.
Well, I mean,
just too much information.
It's all, not
man.
even that. It's all you always one up. That's always the thing. I start listening to heavy metal music. I want to move on to thrash metal. I want to move on to death metal. You know, you do that. It's just extremism on top of extremism, and it adds. It's exponential.
I play Undertale.
Whoa,
then you play
wait.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Hold on, let's back up. What the hell did you just say?
So
I think what he meant was
I think
is
that moved way too fast.
I think what he meant was, let me try to explain, is that people move forward and move up in many things. So, like, you've heard the saying that it's hard for people to move back in lifestyle. Like, you know, it's much easier for someone who's been, like, low income their whole life to live that way than someone who was high income and then lost all their money and they're completely broke.
Yeah.
And now they have to live in, like, in the worst circumstances. You know what I mean?
Just like music is a great example. It always starts with you listen to like that one Beatles song you like, and then you blink. Next thing you know, you're listening to Anal Cunt.
yeah.
And how did you get there?
You're listening to Daughter, so you're like, I was listening to this.
Yeah, it's like
It just
you need that expanding. Well, you don't need, but our culture pushes and encourages expanding frontiers of things, which is good and bad.
Like-
but so this is all Patreon only content from this point on. We're putting this behind a paywall.
Okay, but also another analogy, like you could just start with like a little butt stuff, like maybe a small butt plug, but then like before you know it, you're putting the whole horse
bag
on
of
it.
Yeah, honestly, that's how it happens.
Yeah,
Just
So-
look at the way.
and it happens way faster than you think.
Okay,
I'm
but
telling
so we need
2
to
hours.
rewind a bit because there was a shooting that got kicked off with the guy saying "subscribe to PewDiePie." Can someone explain this to me? Did I miss
Okay,
this?
so that New Zealand shooter, right?
you. You can look it up online.
Yeah,
We can
but-
talk about it after the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, but so I'll just say that New Zealand shooter he wrote this rambling 87-page manifesto, pretty much parroting what the far right has been saying for the past like 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into the details of it. It's way too much.
Because you shouldn't.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be giving him more credence. than
But
it
the
deserves.
thing
We
is,
can't quite go from anime to talking about the details of a mass shooting.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we can.
I mean, we could, but I don't want to.
no, okay,
So we're
yeah.
not
So
gonna-
I'll just hit it there.
You
You know, it was a tragedy. I feel for the victims of that shooting. You know, I'm a practicing Muslim myself, so I mean, for a Muslim to die in a mosque on Friday, a holy day, right before, so we have our equivalent of, like Sunday church is our Friday pretty much. So to die in that location is like, it's a blessing. Like,
Wait, that's interesting because
Yeah.
usually like the Sabbath is a Saturday or a Sunday, and it's also an Abrahamic religion.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Absolutely.
fine. I think it's
Yeah.
interesting it lies on a Friday.
Can you just clarify that that's, your viewpoint of it?
Yeah, that's just my viewpoint of it.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of other Muslims would feel that way. That if you're gonna go out, you would want to go out in your holy house in prayer. It's a decent way to go out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a pretty good way to go out.
It's better than going out on the toilet crying.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot better than that.
I
So
think I see what you mean.
Who
Yeah.
was that did that?
Elvis.
Elvis,
Yeah.
Elvis.
Little did you know, Elvis was a practicing
and
Muslim.
maybe Danny DeVito.
Wait, Danny DeVito's dead?
No, but that's how he's going to
That's
die.
probably how he's gonna die. Oh, poor Danny.
All right, well,
Yes.
we managed to go from anime
To movies.
to in-depth politic talk
we
somehow.
went from anime to movies to in-depth politics. That's
Yeah.
what we went for.
This was an interesting venture.
Yeah.
Just as we're ending now, I can't say for certain whether we're definitely probably not gonna get on a consistent schedule, but I can't even say for certain that we're gonna record another podcast anytime soon again. So yeah, that's the state of things with the podcast. It's just kind of,
If it happens,
you know,
it happens.
See how it flows.
it was way easier back when we started because we were all, you know, going to high school and we were all available at the same time.
Yeah, after
Now
school.
everybody has jobs and some people are still going to school and stuff, and the schedules are shit. So
Doing both.
Yep.
like when we think of it, we'll probably get everybody together again to record something like this again. But yeah, I can't make any promises to when that's gonna be.
We'll see how it goes. All energy flows according to the whims of the great magnet.
Right? Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it when it feels right, and I believe it felt right.
You don't believe in the
tonight,
magnetic field?
Electromagnetism.
So anyway,
So my
thanks
big
for listening.
question-
Anybody have any pressing things they want to say?
how-
before
Do you
we-
remember the magnet men in the... In
Wait, so
What is a pressing issue?
That
How-
was little did you
how
know
can
that was a
you
religious
send-
order, Abdul.
how can the Earth be flat if it's hollow?
Okay, let's just end it here. Let's just. I don't think anything.
How can the Earth cannot be flat because
That's
it's
what
hollow?
the magnet men know.
No, dude, the Earth is hollow
Just.
because that's where the Draco reptilians live. So how can it be flat?
Thanks for watching. Bye.
No, but they wore red robes.